Heh, another day, another exile. You better prove yourself useful. Come on. Did they exile your mouth too? Can you even talk? I share your tongue. Good. Talk to the chieftain. Elder will see if you're useful or not. Go through the fire cave. You'll have to jump from a hanging rock to find our people. You don't jump, you die. Simple as that. Yes, simple. Simple, true. We're not feeding anyone who doesn't contribute, so contribute. This one time I give you fish. Cook them over my fire. You look weak, like a mouse. I don't like mice. Mouse scary. You have my thanks, stranger. This is Red Spikes Gaming, and I want to thank you for checking out this series. If it becomes a series, we'll see. Found this game on Steam today. Actually saw a couple of friends talking about it and checked it out. Played it for a couple of hours already today. This is a new game that we're starting here for the series, but I wanted to check it out first and really got into the game. The game is really, really fun. The concept is kind of, you know, builder craft or survival like you would expect, but with a tribe and kind of city management, where you assign people jobs and they can start collecting things and building things and doing all of that kind of stuff for you. So really interesting take on the genre. Your character is apparently one of the best builders that ever existed, and he built stuff so great that the gods got pissed off and then end up getting him exiled to this island of exiles. And that's where you pick up here, swimming to shore. And now we have to go talk to the chieftain. So let's check it out. First thing we're going to do is take that fish that guy just gave us. We're going to go ahead and cook those into food rations so we have something to eat when we need it. We'll put that down on our 8 slot. Now we got to follow little markers towards the chieftain. Until you get your tribe going where they can start collecting for you, you're going to need a lot of stuff. So anything you can pick up, grab it. Those sticks, these big elephant ear type things, you're going to be building a lot of things with all of this stuff. You don't really have to collect it yet. You can wait till after you've got the quest to do the things, but I'm kind of like to get ahead of the game here, so once I get the quest I can get to it. So all this stuff is lootable. I'm going to grab it before we go because you will need supplies and lots of them. So the game is neat. You unlock different recipes, different buildings through rituals, which are basically just taking the same item to your altar in various numbers, and it'll unlock another recipe, another building for you. And you're kind of finding new tribesmen to grow your tribe. You're making sure you've got housing for them. You're making sure... Ooh, hey, look, we'll do just fine. Free bamboo, I'll take it. Making sure that they've got food for them. Making sure that you've got the tribesmen who are assigned to doing those roles. Some to catch the fish, some to cook the fish, so on and so forth. Can't do any of this yet because we don't have a knife yet, but we'll get there. This is the fire rock cave that he said we had to go through. The island is a volcano, and it's an angry volcano that is somewhat non-dormant. At least at the beginning, it seems like that. Rocks, you have to look for these special kind of things here. So we've been picking up sticks, and then we've been picking up the elephant ears, the big leaves they call them. We got that bamboo out of that box, and then yellow grass is the stuff we've been grabbing that looks like grass. You'll need all of it. All the buildings take pretty much a little bit of everything. And then the rocks, you have to go into the caves and find these kind of blue-purple rocks, and you can pick up rocks around their bases like that. Luckily, this is all just leading into where the game wants us to go to. So, we're just going to go do that. I'm going to grab as much of this as I can along the way, though. So I don't have to come back this way if I need any of this. Okay, and then we go through here. And this is the jumping rock that they talked about. Not that it's very far to jump from, obviously, as you can see. You will take fall damage for going too high of a jump in this, but it's not that bad. It's a little bit of damage, and you really have to jump from really, really high for that to affect you. So, not a super concerned jumping down like some games where you can break your ankle coming off of a pebble. Alright, we can get more of this in a little bit. Let's keep following the path here. We have to find the chieftain. Introduce ourselves. Ah, gods giveth yet again. Greetings, fellow exile. By the great birds, you look awful. I have no use for my tired exiles. Go drink some water and sleep. Use my tatami for now. Come find me when your body feels stronger. So it's a little distracting having to read over top of him talking, but I really don't want to have to leave you all to read on the screen. I thank you, wise leader. I wonder if there's a way to turn that off. Let's turn the dialogue volume all the way down, or turn it low anyways. We'll turn it like 25%. It might feel a little weird them not talking at all. So he wants us to get a drink of water and take a nap because we are beat. This is what we look like. Normally when you drink, you just straight drink out of the water. If you'll notice down at the bottom left corner, you see there's a food meter, there's a water meter, and there's a sleep meter. And you have to be concerned about your rest, because otherwise you start not being able to do stuff as much. That's me eating food. So now we've done that. Go up and get us a nap, as he suggested. You can come here and you can say what time you want to get up. Let's just go 6 hours and get up at 9. And now we're back up. Let's talk again to the elder. You grow stronger by the minute. I see that our little comforts do make a difference. The time has come now, fellow exile. You must build yourself a hut. You can't keep sleeping in my tatami. You're going to need tools. My workshop is right over there, should you need it. Craft the necessary tools there. Everything you need to begin can be found on this island. I thank you. And then he'll tell you where to find stones and where to find vines. So let's run up to his shop here. And we'll grab some stone here that just happen to be sitting there. If we open this up, this is where you start to craft your tools. And you can see a crude knife is just made out of 2 stones. So we can craft one of those. And we'll put that down on a number 1 slot. It still stays in your inventory, but this just gives you quick access to it. And I would like a crude axe, but we're missing some vines. So now that we have the knife, if we run to any of the cave entrances, basically, they hang down all over the place, these things. And then you just chop them. Maybe get a little closer. And you can just hold the arrow, and you'll just keep swinging. And then you can just run around like this and collect a bunch of vines. Like that. There's more stone on the ground here, which we'll grab. Alright, that puts me over 100 stone. I found it in pretty much any game like this where I'm collecting stuff, depending on if there is weight to worry about it or not, which it doesn't seem like there is in this game. I'll usually aim for like 100 stacks. And I'll adjust for the game, but in this game 100 stacks seems to work well. If you have 100 of all the items in your pocket, basically, you can craft just about anything. And you can see as I go, you gain skills. And so these are the skills that kind of surround the player. Right now we're getting mostly gatherer, and you can see that as you go up in level, it's reducing fatigue while gathering, increasing chance of finding additional resources as well. And the higher this goes, the higher those chances are, and the lower that fatigue goes. And so you've got mining ability once we get a pickaxe, you've got hunting, you've got gathering, you've got wood cutting, you've got craftsman. This is like crafting your tools and your other things, and then you've got building, and that is building your buildings. And the more you do those things, the better you get at them, obviously. And we broke our knife, but that's okay. We can build another one. One thing we're going to do before we leave is we're going to take all of what they have in the garden here. And this is yellow grass, basically. It's a Pretty much the name says it. It's yellow grass. But you use this in your building as well. So you're going to want to collect as much of this as you can find as well. Later on, like I said, we will have tribes people assigned to gathering for us. And then we won't have to do this. At the beginning, just like in the other game, though, it's lots of grinding, collecting materials. But you're raising skills at the same time while you do it. These are herbs. They look, there's a couple different looks on them, but they're just herbs. And you're going to need a lot of herbs because these are what you're going to use for your rituals so that you can learn new things at the altar. And you will use hundreds of these, basically. So anytime you see herbs, make sure you grab them. Alright, we're going to craft another knife since we broke that one and craft ourselves an axe while we're at it. So here comes a knife. Here comes a crude axe that uses stone and vine and stick. Gonna make a hammer. This is for breaking down things if you need to break down your builds. So you're gonna need a hammer for that. And then we're gonna make a spear, and that is for catching fish and hunting animals. And then we can just put all of these right down here. We do them in this order. Go. There we go. Now we gotta talk to the elder once again. I see you've crafted yourself some mighty tools. Good. Now it's time for you to build a hut. I need my men well rested. I find them more useful that way. Best find a place beneath sunlight. In other words, get out of the cave and build something. I accept. Now you will need wood. Wood and bamboo. Search outside. Follow the path. Should be easy enough. Just look to your right and be vigilant. The vines grow on cave exits. You'll find them helpful when constructing. We'll talk later. Let the gods guide your path, exile. If you don't want to save time, you can check our storage. You'll find excessive resources there. There may be enough to help you. Alright, and so it's telling us we have to build a workshop. Use Q to open the building panel. You can press the middle mouse button to pin building costs, and then you press the left mouse to build stuff, which we'll do once we get outside here. More herbs, we're definitely taking these. Now that we have an axe as well, this is telling you about spearfishing because I activated my spear. Well, we'll talk about that when we get there. We're ready to do that. But now we have an axe, we can cut some wood, and I really like the way the trees come apart in this game. Very forest, which I appreciate. I appreciate actual physical, and then you just walk up and you grab the logs. Kind of looks like he punches them. And then you can do another tree. Anyways, I like when you can physically see a tree come apart when you're cutting it like this. It's a small detail, but it makes all the difference in the world. More herbs. So we're beginning to get tired. So what we could do is keep pushing on, but I think what we'll do is we'll run in and sleep on his pad again real quick. Because that will be slowing us down if we don't. So let's run back in real fast. Okay, fresh morning. We can get to it now. Pretty much just grab everything in front of you as you go at the beginning. And so we're supposed to be coming over here. You can see you'll find these old builds that are falling apart. And like this gives me a free hammer, some wood, and some vines. And then to get this out of your way so you have room to build your own stuff, take the hammer out, you hit the structures to destroy them, and then you empty the chests first. That's all that's telling you. So boom, and it comes apart and gets out of your way. You don't get anything from it, unfortunately. Well, no, that's not true. You do, you don't pick it up, is what I meant. You see, it just automatically goes into your inventory, which is even better. Alright, now if we come over here, there's going to be a little cave. This is the village storage here. And later on, you will be using this to put stuff in or have your villagers transfer stuff back and forth. But for now, we're just going to take everything that's in here. That's some yellow grass, some big leaves, some vines, some wood, and some bamboo. We're going to take all of that. And then we're going to use that, pick these up, to build us. And we'll do it right here because the chief's up here. His little area is right up here. We might actually build it up here. This might be a good spot up here, next to the chieftain's area. And we can be around to chat with him. You have to find a spot where you can build things, though, because stuff doesn't just automatically build smoothly. You have to have a nice flat spot. So if you hit Q, you can choose the category you're looking for. And in our case, we're looking for private workshop. So you can scroll to change the rotation. You press the left mouse to place it down, or you Q to get out of there, basically, is what that's telling you. So we're going to put our workshop up here if we can find a spot. But this is what I mean. A lot of times there's just not a flat enough area for the build that you want. It'll go blue when there is. But you can see I'm not finding one. Not really. Wait, right there. Can we rotate? No. So you rotate, you lose the flatness of it. And then I believe that's hanging off that direction a little bit. I was hoping to find a good spot up here for this, but it doesn't look like we're gonna. Because I don't want to block this as kind of walkway, like right here. So what we'll do instead is we'll come down here. And we'll set this up right up against this wall. Come out away from the wall till you get the blue. And then just slip in like... That's a good spot. Click, and it starts. And then from here you have to fill in. So a lot like The Forest again, or other games like that. You just fill in the ghost image. And in this game you can just hold E. It says press E to put that in there, right? But if you hold E, you can just kind of scrub your mouse back and forth over everything. And as long as you've got what you need to build it, then you're good to go. So a lot of wood, a lot of bamboo, a lot of yellow grass, right? And then some more yellow grass, big leaves here, big leaves here. Then some sticks and wood and bamboo to make these tables. And boom. So now you have a place to sleep here. You have a place to store stuff if you want. Personally, I've just been carrying everything on me because I don't really want to have to run around and find stuff whenever I'm looking for it. I will put the extra hammer in here for me for later, though. And I'll keep my tools and my food up top here. And boom. So that's that. We have a builder's hut. We can start building other things now. So now we have to go back and talk to the elder again. So, have you made your hut yet? Indeed, my hut is done. Great. I see the gods find you to their liking. It's time you learn how to feed yourself. Craft a spear. You'll need to catch fish. It's easy enough when you get to know the waters. I accept. Alright, so we already have a spear because we did that. Now it wants us to go down to the water and catch fish. So we're going to come down here to this spot that it's aiming us at. And it wants us to stand up here and spear fish. So you can right click and pull back your spear and then throw it. But that's kind of hard to hit, I found. You can do it every now and then, but see, it's really hard to do. I found an easier way to do it is just to run up on the fish and stab them, and then they drop like that, and you can hit E to pick them up. So I'm just gonna kill a bunch of fish here real quick. Where'd he go? Where'd you go, big fish? Come back here. You get a lot of water drinking too. The other option it wanted us to do was if we threw this, if you hit left Alt, you get Eagle Eye. If you click and hold it, you gain Eagle Eye. Oh, look, we actually caught a fish on that one. And that makes things stick out. Which, unfortunately, doesn't stay. It doesn't look like it stays if you let go of the button. What the heck just happened? I think a bug just happened. Let's see if we can recreate that. Oh, that slows everything down, too. You kind of get matrix view. So let's try that again. Oh, that's nice. Keep that charged up. Makes this real easy. Alright. So we caught more than enough fish there. Let's run back to the Elder. Exile, have you caught something yet? I did. Great. Just remember to use the gift of fire and cook them before eating. Here comes the gift of fire, alright. I don't know if I'd call that a gift. Go now, find our altar, burn some incense as an offering, show our respects to the gods, and hope it makes them happy. On my way. Alright, and this tells you about rituals, basically. I'll skip that and tell you myself. If you hit O, you can see that this is your altar. The first thing we need to do is learn how to make a sleeping hut and a fisherman's hut. So this is the first one that we have. There's other things over here as well that you can do, but as far as like these buildings go, see, like these things want obsidian beads. I have no idea what those are. Mushroom, no idea what that is. The hoe wants you to start doing bone talismans. We're going to have to start getting bone. So your best bet is to stick with the first one here. And that wants you to make talismans and... or actually it wants you to make incense to unlock it. And not only will you get the sleeping hut and the fisherman's hut, but you also learn talisman and bamboo totem. So we need to do some incense here. And so if we select that... If we, go back in with O and then you middle mouse it, the scheme has been pinned. You can see it wants, on the left side there, incense. And so that's where you need to find herbs and find yellow grass. Then if we come back to our hut here, we can craft an incense out of some herbs. It's 5 herbs each, which is why you need so many. And 3 of the yellow grass. So let's go ahead and craft that. And I'm actually going to go ahead and craft another 5 of these. Because I want to cut down on the number of trips we have to make back and forth to the altar. Alright. So we're going to head to the altar now, which is over here. And we have to find the entrance first, which is what it's aiming you at, is the entrance. It's kind of a cave system. So it's like a big hill with a cave. You'll see when we get over there. I'm going to grab as much stuff along the way as possible. You will come across these at various points on the island. This one is a bamboo, kind of, they're kind of little altars themselves. If you place what it wants in there, then what it does, if you hit T, you open up your tribe panel, you can see these little blessings that happened here. And this is increases your tribe's production of bamboo by 25%. So each of these kind of makes it better at different things. So if you find these around the island, make sure you activate them if you can. We'll keep running this way. There's more yellow grass. We'll need that. Like I said, I like to make sure I have everything up and around about 100 stack and keep it there. It means less farming later on, and I don't get stuck not being able to complete something that I find. Because I always have the materials. And when there's no weight limit in a game, I'm going to take advantage of that. So bamboo you can also cut yourself. It's a one hit with the axe, and then you just pick up all the pieces. So when you find a little bamboo copse like this, I usually find just like one tap all the bamboo real quick. Just knock them all down, each of these little clusters. Once they're down, I just hold E and run around. Like I said, scrubbing your mouse over everything. You'll pick them all up as you go. This is what happens when you let yourself go too far without sleep. You'll start to take damage. So we have to get back and get some sleep. So I'm just following the path still here to the altar. It's going to lead us in there. This is the altar. Got a tree inside this cave thing. It's pretty cool in here. One thing I would suggest you do is when you get here, go ahead and set yourself up another workshop just inside this area here, like that. And this is going to serve a couple of purposes. One, you'll be able to sleep here if you're over in this area. If you need to, you'll be able to craft things over here. And especially when it gets down to having made things for the altar, you'll often find you might have forgot to bring the incense or whatever with you. And so that can be a problem. So if this is here, you can just craft it here. I like having the ability to craft things in multiple places though, you know. Alright, so this is done. Now we sleep. We'll sleep 9 hours. And now we're out of food. But that's okay. That's easy enough. There, we've got a little bit of food now. Alright, and now that we're here, we want to learn, hit O, the initial prayer. Again, that wants 1 incense. We crafted 6. Trippy. Sleep hut unlocked. Bamboo totem unlocked. Talisman unlocked. Fisher's hut unlocked. Alright, and so now the game wants you to go back and let the elder know about your vision. Before we leave though, like I talked about earlier, I want to cut down the number of trips here. So the next thing that we're supposed to unlock is the cook's hut, and that'll also give you the water skin. That wants 5 incense, which we have because we crafted 6, and then it wants 3 talisman, which we just unlocked. But because we have this here, we can pop in here real quick and make 3 talisman. That's just sticks and vine. So we're going to craft 3 of those. And then we can do that ritual real quick before we leave. So if we go in here, we select that as the ritual, the gift of food. Bam and bam. Cook's hut unlocked. Water skin unlocked. If we look at the water skin, that just wants big leaves and vine. So we'll craft one of those before we go. And now let's head back to the Elder. Okay, so from where our hut was that we built down there, the chieftain is up here. These fires. Before we chat with him, let's go ahead and take those fish that we caught earlier, and I'm gonna craft them out. Looks like there's a limit on the number of things that you can queue up in different stations, so this being a campfire, it looks like we can only do 7 at a time. So just something to be aware of. So I'm gonna quickly bust out all of these fish into food rations real quick. Oh, and that water skin that we built actually filled when I drank at the water source last time. So let's talk to the chief. Ah, exile, have you performed the ritual? I did what you asked. I saw something strange, a vision. Fire Mountain was angry. Fire everywhere. Also, strange sign. And a big boat? I feel crazy. Aha! At last, the gods have chosen. You must be our savior. Now listen, we don't have time to tread lightly. You must save our fellow exiles. You must save our tribe. If the vision is true, the gods have already forsaken these lands. Tribe needs to grow. Without it, we can't build a boat big enough to save us all. No time to waste. The Fire Mountain turns more angry by the day. Big tribe will need lots of food to sustain it. Build a hut for fishermen. I will do that. No time to waste now. Gods have sent you here for a reason. Find me when the fisher hut is done. Let gods light your path and go. Alright, so it wants us to increase the tribe, basically. We have to build a fishing hut. We have to start increasing the tribe out. So, what we're going to do is we're going to come down to the river down here. And we're going to build our first production house here. So if we hit Q and we go to food and we say fisher's hut, we got to find a spot here in the water where we can put this. Right, I keep seeing a spot like right there. Like that works mostly. Right there. And then we're going to fill it in like usual. Hold E and just scrub over everything. I also spent a little time and went ahead and grabbed a bunch of materials, so we should have just over 100 on most everything that we can found so far. Well, we did until a moment ago, big leaves being the exception. So we're just adding the pieces in that it wants to build this. There's that, there's that, there's that. Now this is missing one thing. You'll see right out here, on the front actually, there is this. It's called a bamboo totem. All of your production buildings are going to need one of these. So we'll have to run back up real quick to our crafter and make one of those. And I think you can upgrade those to upgrade your production in general. But right now we're starting with bamboo. We can make the bamboo totem. So I'm going to go ahead and craft a few of these so we just have them in our bag when we start making these things. They're cheap. There we go. And now if we come back down, we can finish this up. Actually, I'm gonna grab one more thing. You see, I went ahead and busted out some tools too, because you're gonna need these. For the fisher hut, you need crude spears. Basically, you have to supply your tribesmen with the tools. That is until we get to where we can let them build them for us. But starting out, put that in there. Bam. And then the way this works is you would hit E on it, and you would say, okay, how many workers can I put in here? This can take up to 5 workers. This needs a spear, though. So we can put a spear in there for now. You can actually stack them in here, which is good. So we'll stack this 5 spears in here. We're supplying this 5 spears, and it wants some food too. So I'm going to go ahead and do control click, and I'm going to separate out 5 food from our pile here. And I'm going to put that there. And then, if you look at your tribe list, you can see that we have 4 people in our population. There's 4 places for them to sleep, so that's balanced. we have no workers, and we have 4 idle. And then looking at this list on this side, you can actually see your buildings, and you can then assign people. So in this case, we have 4. Let's just go ahead and assign all 4 here. And then you hit this little arrow, and you can tell it, what do you want to produce? In this case, we want them to produce fish. It's the only option we have. You can do the same thing at the building itself. In these menus, it's just basically the same thing where you can assign workers here, and then you can see what level your totem's at, and any kind of production bonus that gives. Bamboo does not. And then right now, this is assigned to none. I'm going to assign it to the village storage, so that the things that they produce will go to the village storage, which they won't right now, but once we get to where we have somebody that can deliver stuff, we will. So right now it's just going to pile up in here, but you can see how quickly that works when you've got 4 people assigned, and then you can see the first spears, how much is left on that spear going down as they do that, which is why you supply this here. So you can either come to the machine and do it here, or you can do it in the tribe list here. So now let's go back and find the elder, because we need to go talk to him again. Greetings, Exile. What is new? Fisher hut is done. That's good. Time to make tribesmen work. Bring tools. Place a torch in the totem by the hut's door. More torches mean more workers. The signal fires seem simple, huh? Also, workers need to eat. Here, have some food rations. Bring them to the Fisher hut. Got it. Find and tools to the Fisher's hut. Got it. Anything else? I brought the tools. We already did it, so we can complete this. The torches are in place at the totem. Good. Just remember, tribe needs to sleep too. The night is sacred. Everyone needs to sleep. Also, check if tribe has enough food supplies. Food is crucial if you want to keep the work at a high rate. You must bring food for the workers. But the tribe already has fish, right? You must fry the fish first. It's best you make a sacrifice of the altar and build a cook's hut now. We can make food for all tribe there. I see. Alright, so this is where you'd have to run back to the altar and unlock it again, but we did that already. So, we have to craft 3 talisman to complete this part of the quest, which is okay because we'll use these talisman for other things. So if we do 1, 2, 3, and craft that. Alright, that's done. Now it wants us to complete construction, so we have to build a cook. So we're going to put the cook's house like right here alongside this. So if we do Q, we go to food, and we go to cook's hut. We drop that guy right there. Alongside ours. Let's run through and finish production real quick. Hopefully we have enough wood to finish this. Okay, now bamboo. Run around and look at everything that goes into place. And more wood, and we're out of wood. Let me grab some real quick. Should be enough wood to finish this, hopefully. Stone, sticks, grass for the outside, grass and leaves. Tools and benches, and then of course our bamboo totem. And this is done. So now what we can do is we can go into this guy, and you can see he wants knives. Luckily, I also went ahead and you can shift click items between containers, by the way. Went ahead and crafted a bunch of knives. So let's go ahead and pop those in there. There's 5 knives to begin with. Let's do shift right click or control click. Sorry, control click. Let me get 5 of these. So we can feed the workers here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go into our tribe. We're going to take away 2 of the people that are working at the fisher's hut. We're going to assign them here. So they'll be cooking. Okay. And then you'll see in your, if you look in your tribe list, you'll see different things here, status. So right now this has got a red status that says, hey, out of resources, we need fish. And so if we come down here to where we built our, these guys, open this up. First off, you can see we're still only used 1 of those spears so far, and we still got 2 food left, which is good. And they've made 25 fish so far, which will slow down now that we've taken 2 of their workers away. But that's okay. We'll take those fish and deliver it over here and drop it. Bam. And now they are starting to make food rations. If you look at the production, they can make food rations out of fish. They can make it out of meat, and then spiced food rations, which we don't know about yet. Can also make it out of crops, which we also haven't seen yet. But we'll set it to fish, and they'll start producing food rations that way. And then again here, we're going to assign this to the village store, though it won't go anywhere until we have a delivery person. Alright, so our cook is up and running, our fishermen are up and running. Let's talk to the chief again. What brings you to me, fellow exile? I took care of food. Good. Now just remember, the tribe needs to eat. I will watch them closely so they don't eat more than 1 ration a day. But if you need to bring food, so the tribe focuses on work and doesn't start to wander. One more thing, fellow exile. As the tribe grows, you cannot carry all the resources yourself. Already takes a lot of my time. And the Fire Mountain is still angry. I think it is time that you appoint our first carrier. You can use the village storage under the Bellfires. How will the carriers know? Where and from should they bring their resources? You must give them clear instructions, assign them directly to the storage, and the carriers will take it from there. So I no longer need to bring fish to the cook? As long as the fisherman and the cook are assigned to the storage, you don't. Just mind the tools. Without them in storage, carriers won't be able to equip others. You just need to make sure the storage is not full. If it's not, the carriers will continue to store what the village makes. Thank you for the gift of your wisdom, my elder. Alright, so what he's saying is we need a carrier. So we need somebody we can assign to that. And what we can do then is we can take one of these cooks away. Alright? And now if you look in the tribe, we've got 1 person idle. If we come here to the storages line, we can assign him to the storage. So what'll happen is one of these guys that was cooking will now deliver things back and forth. And so since this is assigned to village storage, this food will get delivered to the village storage. And since the fish was assigned to the village storage, the raw fish will also get assigned there. And then he'll bring raw fish from here to the cook as the cook needs it. And so you can see, if we look in here, there's raw fish in here already. And so they'll start delivering things back and forth. And all we really need to do right now is make sure that there's tools in there. So as he runs out of knives, and as the other guy runs out of spears, the delivery guy can get that delivered around. And so you can see from that how we've started a basic production line here of collecting fish, cooking fish, delivering fish. After this, we're going to have to start dealing with tools so that we don't have to keep running back and forth and making tools ourselves. So that'll be what we cover next time. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, do me a favor. Hit the like button down below. Maybe subscribe to the channel if you want to see more survival game stuff like this. And feel free to drop comments. It's always good to hear from you. Until next time, this was Red Spikes Gaming. Bye now.